Hi my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. On our calendar today we have a tidy up, and this is a real one that we need to do. Something I think we leave quite a long time in our spaces, and that is our chairs and our work surfaces. You know how underneath your chair where the structure is, it gets super dusty. You get threads wrapped around your wheels of your chairs. If you don't have wheels but you just have legs, if you look under the leg, you'll get like matted dust and caked under there. Okay, so here's a video. I'm gonna walk the walk with you. This is the culprit. Down here, we just never think about it. You've got like handles like this that need it. The tops of the knobs need it. Oh yeah. There's another little handle, but then all around here and then down in all the flat surfaces, get all that around. And then see my koala table, because it's cutting height, I have this extra section in the bottom. And then of course, this gets dirty because my feet are on it all the time. So I will often just vacuum it, but because I'm here with the thing, I will go ahead. Ew, lots. It's just dry too right now. Oh, this seems like so much dust. Okay, so this is your tidy up for today. Don't forget to look at your wheels too, and be sure you don't have, see they're dusty. The dust is just sticking on them right now. But be sure you don't have like a bunch of threads stuck on there. My wheels seem to be good. All right, I had to do two chairs in here because I have, you know, the one for my sewing table and the one for my computer. My computer chair is very old. Really old, but they made them so well back then. The cushioning on it, I think it's more like cushioning they would have used like in cars. You know, in car seats, you don't sit in a car seat for a year and the cushioning all just sort of disintegrates and you're sitting on the wood. Those are really good cushions in cars. And these older office chairs that were made for like industrial, you know, for office use where people sat all day and multiple people, that's the kind of chair I have. And but you know, it's needs replaced someday. I just dread that because I know it'll be so hard to get a good chair again. Okay, so you're gonna clean your chair, clean everything about it. What else have we got? Our string bean for today. Woohoo! There we go. These are coming together so nicely. I have the two top rows done, and I want to show you my sort of management of the strips because I am doing a couple ahead. I know, but I have to because I'm doing these other behind the scenes projects, so I have to be sure that I can be sure I have a block every day. So I'm doing a couple ahead, and what I'm doing, let me just put this down here, is I'm using the design boards because they are so effective. So I have this one where I put the dark strips because my block, let's just look at the anatomy of my block. I have the center, and those are over in the rolling assistant. Then I have the blocks that have the colorful strips, and then the blocks with basically the black and white. So I've got a bunch of the black and white cut here. These are the short pieces, the very short pieces. So like when I cut a piece, if there's an extra that can be the first strip, which is 4.5, I will cut those. So I have enough of those now of the black and white, but I'll get a few more of these because you know, then I don't need that size anymore. This is kind of the leftovers, things that they're too short for the shortest one, and I might end up just sewing a bunch of these strips together. Maybe they'll be binding. Who knows? Something, or a strip on the backing. I don't know. This one I sewed a couple of them together so I could get some squares out of it. Then I have the colorful ones. So here we go with that. And I put those by you know, pink, green, aqua, orange, and turquoise. I think those are all the colors that are in the blocks. And they're not, I still have, you know, lots more of all of them, but like this one, I pretty much cut it all up. So that yellow, as we're looking at it, is quite vibrant. And so it really sticks out on things. And I want to be sure that I have them sprinkled all around. And the same thing goes for the dot. Here's the dot. The dot is really distinct. And so I'm trying, when we look at the whole thing, you know, using the dots, I want to sprinkle those around. Speaking of dots, I'm wearing my favorite black and white scarf. This is my favorite black and white dot scarf of all time. I don't wear it as much anymore because I've had it so long, and I don't want to mess it up. It's like, so I just don't wear it quite as much. But speaking of black and white, there we go. So these boards are super great. I buy the boards, and yes, you can make them, but I just buy them because I don't want to spend my time making them, and they're really well made. And so there, that's how I do. And the link is down below in the description box, or you can just go to the Fat Quarter Shop via my links and get the design boards. All right. The other thing is your scissor show. Oh my goodness. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. It was amazing to read through. Like, a lot of you don't have a lot of scissors. Occasionally there was somebody with one pair. I cannot comprehend one pair of scissors. I don't know. That just seems like there would be no way I could function, because I do things with large scissors, with long shafts, with small ones, and I just can't comprehend doing everything with one pair of scissors. And so scissor collecting is what I do. And they don't take up much room. It's a much smaller space than those of you who collect sewing machines and have 25 of those. My 50 scissors take up less space than one of your machines. Now, I did see 3 really cool storages, which were the same sort of storage, but I wanted to show you 2 of them. So here's Sharon's, and they're all hanging on some sort of, I think they're cup holders. We have Rosario's, and then Bonnie's. And they all found these, you know, cup tree racks, you know, and hung the scissors on those. I thought that was such a great idea. They're neat looking. I put mine in cups, a lot of them, because you saw that, so I have them in the cups. Okay, great stuff. The scissor display was just great stuff. If you didn't go and look, go on over to my community page, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, and just scroll the tab with the photos and you'll see them. All right, I wanted to do a little talking about how you learn things that you like. So I'm trying to figure out how to even say that. You know, when you're doing any kind of crafting, any kind of making, any kind of anything, it could be cooking, it could be you know, how you learn to do some computer stuff, whatever. When you're learning something, you learn things in the beginning, and then as you use those, you might figure out, well, I didn't really like doing it that way very much, but I really like doing it this way, and you adjust. You also find out that your brain can absorb more information. In the beginning, you can only absorb so much information, and then you have to practice it, use those things, and then somebody can tell you the same thing they would have told you 6 months ago, but you couldn't absorb any more information. Now you can. Now you're like, okay, I've got the basics, I'm doing this. Now you're telling me, oh, this might work better, or you might like it this way, it might you know, appeal to you more. It's always good to take in new information as you go along. It's one of those things where people say, I was always told, or someone told me. That, to me, that's a challenge word. If somebody told me that, I want to know why, and show me why. You know, tell me why this is better, why it has to be done like that, what's the purpose of that, what benefit do I have, what benefit am I not getting, you know, this have some information about it. And so anytime that you catch yourself saying, well, I was told to do it this way, stop yourself and figure out if that really is true. If it's really true for you, if it's really true for you anymore, if you ever really understood what that meant in the first place. So for me, it isn't that I was told anything, because because when people tell me stuff, it just goes like this. I don't pay any attention to that. I really don't. I mean, I cannot ever remember thinking in my life somebody said, well, they told me to do it this way. It's just not how I'm wired. I would be like, okay, whatever, you're doing it that way. Let me just see what this does. But what I've found is that with the cross stitch, there's 2 definite things, or there's 3 definite things right now that I have narrowed in on to, that I like and make the cross stitch enjoyable. And so one of them is that I'm using the 14 count. So I found that if I do 14 count, I can see it, it feels nice, and I will stitch. Okay, it goes like this. So I will stitch if it's on 14 count. I'm not even trying the other smaller counts. That doesn't mean down the road I won't, but right now that's what I'm sticking with. The other thing is I found that I like to stitch a certain direction. So I like to stitch from my right, I'm going to stand like this, from my right to my left. And that's the way I like to stitch, right to left. And I like to go top to bottom and back up if I can do it that way. Top to bottom, back up, and then the next one over is right to left. If I'm stitching like that, it is so soothing, it is so nice, it is so enjoyable. If that means though, for those of you who are avid cross stitchers, that means my little X's will be different because I will rotate my piece to get it where I can go right to left. And I don't care. I don't care that my little X's might have, you know, different directions. From this distance, I can't tell, and it doesn't matter if I could tell. The other thing that I've totally zeroed in on is the needle I use. So I'm going to, here's the needle, it's on here. See if I can do this, see if you can get it. These are a ballpoint needle, and I like the longer one. So I'm going to show you the packaging. It's out, I don't have the, I think I'm using the 24. So this is the packaging. Then it comes 2 in a pack. Here's the shorter one at 28. But I think I'm using the 24 because I actually love long needles, and the longer the needle the better. So this is my preferred needle, and it's got a little ball on the end of it, and it just, this makes the stitching so nice for me. The other thing though is that I can't weave underneath as well with that. So I do like these Pat's Favorite needles. Those are pretty good too. They're pointy, you know, so they don't have the ball on the end. So if I need to weave a lot of stuff in the back, the tail ends. And I also keep them in this little container because once I open that envelope, they're like, oh. So I've got this little container, and then I put them in there with the label. Now another thing I need to do is organize my cross stitch stuff just a little bit. Let me just show you where I've got it right now. I have it in this basket, and then within here are bags of things. Like here are floss winders and other sort of tools. Here is the frame. I don't use the frame very much, but I have it if I want to. Of course, all the patterns that I have are back here, the bigger patterns. Here are some other tools. But I'm thinking, like the needles and stuff, I am going to take them out of there and some of the tools and put them in these containers I got a couple months ago from the cookie place. Which, by the way, this cookie, here's two. So I've got like, these are the small ones. So I think I'm going to put needles in there, and then that way it'll be a little bit more fun. It'll be a little more, you know, and then they'll you know, be up where the cross stitch stuff is on my shelf over here. So it'll be up on the cross stitch shelf over there, and then I can get to them really easily. So I think I also might put the magnets in here, although they're going to stick to that. That'd be okay. I put the little needle minder magnets in here and just clear this basket out and keep more of the cross stitch stuff up there. So these cookie tins, they've got a lip on the top so the tins don't slide. They're just, the lady just created such perfection with these cookies. And I've been writing with her a few times, and we're going to do a giveaway of the cookies within a tin the next time they start production, because they only do major production in the fall, and then they sometimes do a spring run. So she says they'll probably do a spring run, and she'll contact me. So that'll be cool. All right, my friend. you're gonna tidy up today. Get those chairs, go do your screens on your computer and your sewing machine, do your surfaces, just do a dusting. But the chairs are the big thing. And then look at what you're doing. Find something that you're doing that maybe one of you, just celebrate something you do that you really love the technique that you use. And the other thing is maybe you're doing something that you don't love the technique so much, or you think it's a bit of a rigmarole to do it. You know, why am I doing it this way? And you could even go out to the community and ask and say, hey, I'm doing this way. Is there a different or way that you do it that I might try? Explore that today. I think it would be marvelous to have you find a new sort of fantastic way to do your projects. Okay, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.